What's up, guys? That was something stuck in my throat. But this, what you're watching, is a TNA Bound for Glory 2012 review by the Tree of Woe Show, who are avid TNA watchers. Just keep that in mind, that we watch every Thursday. Never missed a show. Also keep in mind that I watched Bound for Glory on my TV. But no, I watched it muted because the Cardinals game was on. Baseball. So the promos I didn't hear, but I can. Let's just go. The first match of the night was for the X Division title, where Zema Ion, aka Zoltan, aka you don't mess with the Zohan. This hair. He's doing this. He was defending his X Division championship against Rob Van Dam, but yeah, this match was pretty good actually. Like, I don't know much about Zema Ion, and I don't like Rob Van Dam. So by default, I was cheering for Zema Ion just because I said, "Come on, you look like you're the young guy." From what I know, he's not old. I know Rob Van Dam is old. So before I started this match, or this match started, I said, who's gonna win this at the biggest show of the year? No Job Rob or dude with the hairspray. And my prediction was that Rob Van Dam was not about to put this dude over. I was correct. Rob Van Dam, new X Division champion. He defeats Zema Ion, but yeah, it was a good match though. So I didn't like that Rob Van Dam won, but that's just me. You guys could be having a great time. But yeah, RVD wins that one. Next match was for the TV title. The champion Samoa Joe, the internet hero, versus Magnus, who looked like a badass. That's all I know. But from what I understand, these guys used to be a tag team. They split up. All of a sudden, they decided to come back together, and we're gonna have a feud now. You're gonna like you. But I really like this match. Like, Samoa Joe never really did anything for me. Like, I was like, okay, I respect, but he was dropping some moves on this. Like, he was submission machine, like his nickname says. And the end comes where Magnus fella is like, "Hey, I'm gonna stand here," and then Samoa Joe said, "Crack," and he ends up tapping out. So Samoa Joe retains his title in a really good match, that I thought. And then it doesn't take a genius on the topic of TNA, which I am not, to know that the next match probably should have been in a better spot on the card, seeing as that it's been built up for a very long time, in Bobby Roode versus James Storm, with King Mo's the Enforcer street fight. I saw Bobby Roode start getting interviewed. I'm like, okay, they're just interviewing it. Again, I can't hear this. They're just interviewing him for later in the show, and all of a sudden, boom, they start coming out and they're having a match. I'm like, really? They're putting this out third? But Bobby Roode is one of my favorite wrestlers in TNA. I have like 3 guys I like, just because I don't watch very much. I'm sure I'd like more guys. But yeah, Bobby Roode versus James Storm. This match was brutal. James Storm was busted up pretty early in the match. Weapons galore, going through tables. I saw a cheese grater. Bobby Roode ends up pouring some tacks down, and of course, if you're the one that pours the tacks, you're ending up on the tacks. First rule of wrestling. So, unfortunately for Bobby Roode, he got tacks all up in his back, and it was just bad news for him. A lot of false finishers. I thought it was over when James Storm hit the super kick earlier, before even the tacks had come out or anything, but he kicked out. They kept going. Bobby Roode kicks out of a lot of stuff, actually. I was like, oh man. I knew that Bobby Roode, I can't remember if it was at Lockdown, but I think literally the last time I watched a TNA pay-per-view was the one where it was Lockdown, because it was the cage. The last TNA pay-per-view I watched fully was Lockdown, because I remember it was Roode versus Storm, and Roode won. So I pretty much knew that James Storm was going to win, so I had accepted that, even though I wanted Bobby Roode to win if I had to choose. But James Storm ends up winning this match, and it was just brutal. And the beer bottle over the head, the whole beer money thing, and then the just sick super kick. Like that was nuts. Square in the jaw. He just drops 1, 2, 3. And James Storm was just pumped, obviously, because this feud's been going on, like I said, for a while. And I wish it would have been like a better spot on the card, but it didn't take away from how good of a match it was because it was just wild. And then you get Al Snow versus Joey Ryan. And I've heard a lot of people talk about Joey Ryan. I had never seen the guy. And he pops him on the screen. I said, he looks like the guy from, now I can't remember the commercials, but what is the guy advertising? It's the dude that like it's like a car insurance commercial, and he has the I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. The good for you, but he looked like that guy, and I was cracking up. I'm like, oh whatever, Joey Ryan, we'll see what he's doing. But then we get Joey Ryan versus Al Snow, and Al Snow comes out, and people are chanting about the head. He didn't have the head, and I was really pissed because that would have been just magical. But this match goes on for a while, and Al Snow is just like taking Joey Ryan to town, whooping his ass all up and down the place. And then a little bit into the match, he ends up going to the ring and getting the head. And young Attitude Era loving Justin was like, oh, like freaking out over this head. But it ended up Al Snow was about to get the win or whatever after a while. And then Matt Morgan. I know who Matt Morgan is, but at the same time, I don't know what significance this has. I was talking to people on Twitter, and they were confused. So if they watched TNA and they were confused, you can imagine me just saying, yeah, Matt Morgan, like trying to act like I knew it was happening, act like I was down. Yeah. But yeah, so Matt Morgan comes out and ends up helping Joey Ryan get the win. So Joey Ryan gets a contract in TNA. So good for the guy that looks like the guy from the car insurance commercial. And then we got triple threat tag team match. You got Chavo and Hernandez against AJ Styles and Kurt Angle against Christopher Daniels and Kazarian, I think. And I like this match. I love triple threat, four corners tag team matches where it's like you don't want to go by the corner because the other people will tag in. You don't control it. I just like that kind of match. And Chavo, I don't really care for. Hernandez, I don't know who you are, to be completely honest. Kurt Angle, I'm okay with Kurt Angle. AJ Styles, I never have liked, but he won me over in this match. He was just like, oh my gosh. AJ Styles is like a freaking walking spaz attack. Like he was everywhere. I was like, oh my gosh. And then Christopher Daniels, all I know about him is he always fights AJ Styles. So that was my input on this. But it was good. Hernandez and Chavo end up getting the win. Hernandez gets the pin, and they are the new champions. So if you would have asked me before this match, I would have said AJ and Kurt Angle were going to win, but Hernandez gets the win. Moving on to the Knockouts Championship, you got Tara versus Miss Tessmacher, Brooke Adams. You need to be my wife. I am in love with her. Oh my lord. Oh, that's all I could focus on this match was just how much I love her so much. But she ended up losing this match. Tara wins, the whole student versus the teacher. And then Tara starts making out with some dude that was on Big Brother. And I was just like, this is what happens on TNA, but whatever. So I was pissed that Tessmacher lost, but it happens. I'm just used to watching WWE Divas matches, so to me, this match was just like mind blowing. Whoa, they're actually doing stuff. But yeah, and then we get to the no. Before the co-main event, they showed the Hall of Fame footage because then it led into the co-main event with Sting getting inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame. So that's cool for Sting. Whatever. And then we get to the co-main or the semi-co-main, whatever. Aces and Eights, two dudes versus Sting and Bully Ray. And the way I watch TNA is through like off the rope show reviews. So I know what's happening in TNA. I've just never watched it. So I know that the whole base of this is Ace and Eights are coming in. It's like the Nexus kind of. Bully Ray all of a sudden is the partner. And he's so obviously going to be a part of it that's going to be stupid. But then you have the swerve that maybe everyone's expecting it. So then Sting does it. Or you have the swerve that happened here. None of them turn on anybody. And Aces and Eights just ends up winning with help from another member. And then so Aces and Eights wins this match. And then Hogan comes out and it's Hulkamania, and he just says he's freaking out, and they're just attacking him and attacking him and attacking him, and before he like knocks out all the aces and eights guys except for like the last guy standing, who I guess was the leader or whatever. And they're sitting there before he can do the leg drop or whatever. They end up unmasking him, and it was Devon. Oh, I was expecting like Jeff Jarrett or Eric Bischoff or like anybody. And like when I see Devon, I don't think badass leader of a faction that's been like messing with the company for. I was so confused. Devon Dudley. Devon. I was just like, really? This is who I think of when I think of big. Oh, I was cracking up. And just everyone's face. Hulk Hogan, you get out of here, brother. I don't want to see you anymore. And then Bully Ray just, why? Why? And I'm just like, this is hilarious. I don't know what Devon has to do with this. Like, maybe, I'm sure I missed out on a storyline that. Actually, maybe I didn't. Because if there is a reason that this all ties together, please tell me in the comments. I'm not being a smartass. I really want to know because I don't watch TNA very much. Is there a connection to where Devon made sense here? Because to me, I was just cracking up laughing. But it might make sense. So if it really does, tell me. But and then we get to the main event of the evening, the Bound for Glory series winner Jeff Hardy versus Austin Aries. To me, this match seemed like kind of what would happen if like WWE like standards if it was John Cena versus CM Punk. You know, you got two top guys. You got Aries, who would play the role of, in WWE land, CM Punk, where he's over with like the broad people, but he's mostly like the hardcore smart mark indie, like, people on internet people like us. That's like the Austin Aries, like the CM Punk, it's like, okay, he still gets lots of cheers from other people, but he's like the internet's guy. Then you have Cena and Hardy, who are like sure liked by some internet people, but mostly it's like women and kids and like mainstream people. So that's just to me what it seemed like. If I'm wrong, call me out. But when I was watching it, it seemed like a Cena versus Punk, where it's like the internet's guy versus the mainstream women and kids, everything guy. And I was really looking forward to this match. Oh, I really was, and I thought it was awesome. Like, just kind of, it depends on what kind of wrestling you're into. Normally, I'm not into like cruiserweight little dudes flying around, but I love Austin Aries. Jeff Hardy, I like his old theme song, and he comes out and doesn't have his old theme song. How are you trying to win me over if you don't have the thing that I like you for? And Jake said that face painted crack addicts don't really do it for him, so he doesn't like Jeff Hardy. But I don't mind Jeff Hardy. He's obviously not my favorite wrestler in the world, but I didn't mind him. And this match had some false finishers, and you didn't know what was going to happen. Jeff Hardy took some spots though, like his head was cracking on that ramp thing, and just he was hitting the barricade, head cracking oh. And Jeff Hardy did this move. I honestly can't recall ever seeing it before. He has Aries set up like a power bomb. Instead of coming up power bomb, he goes and flips him and just like bam, Aries' face hits the mat. That was awesome. Don't do Whisper in the Wind though anymore. Like, blah, blah, blah. I missed everything, and then Aries like, ow, somewhere hurts. You hit me, made contact somewhere. But Jeff Hardy ends up getting the win. TNA World Heavyweight Champion defeats Austin Aries. I'm going to conceal my opinion. I want to hear from you guys, because sure, the dude that watches TNA twice a year, more than twice a year, but you get the point. It's one thing for me to act like I know what's going on and, have an opinion on what I think about the biggest show of the year. Because it'd be annoying if, like, someone that doesn't ever watch WWE made a review and was talking about Rock Cena and, like, oh, well, here's the. I honestly don't know how I feel about it. I love Austin Aries. I'm cool with Jeff Hardy. I want to know what you guys think. That's the basis here. So tell me what you guys thought about the show overall. I enjoyed watching it, but then again, maybe I enjoyed watching it because I was watching the Cardinals and the Cardinals were winning. So I was in a good mood, so I didn't have to like pay fully attention to TNA. But tell me what you guys thought of it. I liked the show in general. Again, I'll keep my thoughts quiet on the main event. I want to hear what you guys thought. But yeah, leave your comments on the main event for sure and just the rest of the show in general. Like this video, subscribe above if you haven't, because we make videos about wrestling. So that is it. See you in another 6 months, TNA fans. No, I'm just kidding. I'll give it a chance. But good night for now.